Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital. Maddy Glab here with Bills insider Chris Brown, and the Buffalo Bills had a beat down against the New England Patriots, 47-17. That means the Buffalo Bills are moving on in the playoffs, and the New England Patriots, bye-bye. They are going home. 5 passing touchdowns by Josh Allen. That is a record in the playoffs in Buffalo Bills history. 482 total yards of offense. Domination station, high mark heroes, whatever you want to call this team, they did it all tonight. It was so much fun to watch. From the first drive of the game to the last possession of the game, they had their feet on the gas.
Yeah, and you and I talked about it in Bills Field Pass in the pregame show, Maddie. 2 teams going in 2 different directions at the end of the regular season, and I think we felt like that momentum was going to carry over here into the postseason, and man, did it. I don't know if any of us expected it to happen to quite this degree, but Patriots lose 3 of their last 4. They've got injury problems. They've looked slow on defense. Their defense had been slipping after being one of the top units in the league. They just did not have it tonight. They looked slow. And the Bills were just playing at another level and another speed, and they simply could not match it.
And it was obvious on the sideline. Bills sideline, they were hyped. They were turned up throughout the entire game. The Patriots sideline, from the beginning of the game, at least into the first couple of drives, they looked kind of done with the game already. They looked cold. They didn't look like they were in it. It was obvious to see whose game it was. It was the Buffalo Bills game from the beginning of the start. When they blew the whistle to start the game, it was the Buffalo Bills all the way. We are going to hear from several players tonight. Jerry Hughes and Harrison Phillips are in the Zoom room or answering some questions from some of our reporters, so here they are.
It felt amazing just on the stage that it was done on, a home playoff game here with our fans, with the Mafia up in the stands cheering, being crazy, being what they are, the best fans in the NFL. It felt amazing to actually have that opportunity to be here. These guys have done a fantastic job. Our offense, the rest of the team, D-line, our secondary has been amazing all year. So for us to get this opportunity and to come out here and play Buffalo Bills football like we know we did, it feels great. We're going to enjoy this tonight.
Harry and Jerry both. Say that again. Say that again.
Much closer. Thanks, guys.
Oh, okay.
Have either one of you guys ever played in a football game where your offense scored a touchdown at every possession?
No.
That sounds like some Pop Warner stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say, it doesn't sound like, it's unfeasible just because we got Josh Allen, but no, this is probably the first time for me.
But you probably did it on Madden a couple times.
I mean, I probably watched my kid.
He's pretty good on
do
the
it.
sticks.
No, my kid does it all the time with Josh, man.
You were out there for quite a while after the game. You were a little bit emotional with the fans.
Yeah.
Why was that?
I mean, you guys have known it's the first time we were able to do this in a really, really long time. And, just really one thing I've really been trying to do this year is just smell the roses and, live in the moment a little bit. And so after the game, after we did our team prayer there on the field, just took an extra breath and walked around that stadium one more time. Not, how much it means to us, but also the fans that are there. And, these are rare to come by. It's not promised that you can play at home in front of these fans. And, just really wanted to live in the moment and take this in as something that we'll remember for the rest of our careers, our life.
It ended up being a 30-point game, but the play Micah made for the interception, what did you see? What did you think about that play?
Micah, being the all-pro, Pro Bowl player, all-world that we know he could be. We put him in the post for a reason. We always have that defensive mindset of bend, don't break. We don't want you to get in the red zone, but if you do, we're going to make it tough as hell for you to score. And so we know what kind of secondary we got. And so what we see Micah making these plays on these stages, we see him do it all the time in practice. So I'm just happy that he was able to get that ball and then almost score on the punt play. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy. I mean, he's having a phenomenal year. Just wanted him to hit that triangle button, pick up those feet. That's about it, man. That would have been amazing.
Jerry, not wanting to bring up, as much as I don't want to bring up that 14-10 loss here, but the fact that how much was that in the back of your mind, knowing that they beat you here and taking this out on them after what happened back December 6th?
It was a little bit on my mind, but I think the real thing was just the disrespect Poyer and Micah got coming in here, talking to everyone about football, and how we do things. And so I felt like a lot of people on this team noticed that, throughout the year, there's a lot of disrespect coming towards our defense. And so we felt like the only way to shut people up is to go out there and play football and let you guys sit and watch and talk, And that's what we're doing right now, playing football.
So on that point, so you've done that on the defensive side, how you've really rounded into form, because you had trouble dealing with the run game at times this year, combined with what you just talked about, what you saw on offense, and how they have rounded into form.
Yeah, it's an 18-game season. Everybody has ups and downs, ebbs and flows of a football game. There's no way you can predict a winner when you go out there and play a football game. This is the National Football League. Everybody has an opportunity to win a football game. So for us to go out there and play, we go out there and play. You guys talk, and we listen to it. We hear the chirps, and then we go out there and play some more. So what we do, we play football. We let you guys talk about how we play football. And if we don't like it, then we continue to play a lot harder.
I understand that
Yeah.
completely. How do you feel you're playing now as a team, factoring in all of what I just described
We
at
won
this
the
point
game.
in the postseason?
We won the game, and that's fun. We're going to have fun with winning the game, winning tonight. Then we're worried about who we got to play next.
Harrison, how would you characterize
All right, Jerry Hughes and Harrison Phillips, and they played a factor in this one as well. What did you see out of the Buffalo Bills defense? How were they able to impact the game? Damian Harris, the first two meetings against the Patriots, he goes over 100 rushing yards. He was held to 30 rushing yards tonight. So how are the Buffalo Bills defense able to kind of scheme up and limit him and also limit the Patriots to just 17 points?
Yeah, they did a great job in the run front, especially the corners. Corners in this defensive scheme have to be good run support corners. I thought Dane Jackson set the tone. First run play of the game, he's got to stick his shoulder in there and stone Damian Harris, and he did. He holds him to a 2-yard gain. Then they get another stop, and now it's 3rd and 7. And that is the key to getting the Patriots out of their formula for winning. It's run the ball, control the clock, use play-action pass to mix it in and stay ahead of the sticks and finish drives with points. When you put them in 3rd and long, it puts undue pressure on Mac Jones, who, to his credit, did not play a poor game tonight. But putting that burden on a rookie quarterback in this kind of environment against that kind of caliber of defense, it's very hard to win a football game that way, the way the Patriots are constructed. And then their defense just completely let them down tonight with maybe their worst performance of the season.
Yeah, rookie quarterbacks have a tough time when they're in the playoffs. They are 2 of 8 as starters in the playoffs since 2010 going into this game. Mac Jones did have a good game, threw for over 230 passing yards, but it wasn't enough to get the win. So Buffalo Bills 47-17 is the final score. We're going to hear from some more of our players. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are at the podium right now.
How bad did you want to get to the end zone on that one?
Oh my gosh, that one hurt. Man, I wish I had that back. I would have jumped over him or something, but yeah, that one hurt.
Can you take us through the interception? Because it was kind of an amazing play.
They ran a double move on the outside. I saw the quarterback kind of staring. I got a late jump on it, honestly. I felt like I could have got an earlier jump. I didn't believe it right away. But when I knew he was throwing, I just put my head down and started running. And, I thought the ball was going to be at the receiver, and I just looked up at the last second, and the ball was there. And so was able to make a play on it.
Hell of a play. A long way to go, but you had just scored, and then you prevent a score. Did it feel like right at that moment that was kind of a pivotal point right there? Because they couldn't answer you with the score there.
I guess looking back, possibly. Because they're at scoring range, that play, if they were able to convert and score a touchdown, it would have been 7-7, obviously, a different ball game. So, anytime we get red zone takeaways, I don't even know if the ball was in the red zone to start, but it was close to the end zone. Anytime we get takeaways, it's big.
Jordan, they had converted 2 3rd and longs on that drive before Micah made that play. From your vantage point, just how big was it, and what did you see from Micah on that play?
I told him on the sideline that might have been the most unbelievable play I've ever seen on the field. I was playing man on the tight end. He ran a drag, and I saw Mac throw the ball in the air. And, it looked like the receiver had maybe a step, but, Micah was there and just made an unbelievable play. Like I said, probably one of the best plays I had ever seen on the field.
Mike, the defense had a great night. The offense had the ball 7 times and scored 7 touchdowns. You ever seen anything like that?
I've been a part of a few games like that. I don't know them in the playoffs, but I've been a part of a few games like that, especially in my past team, former team. And that was just remarkable. That's what our offense does, man. They, we go against each other in practice. They talk a lot of junk to us. We remind them how we finished the year. You know, we go back and forth, but I think at the end of the day, we're competing. They make us better, we make them better, and you know, we know what they're capable of doing.
So, Mike, along those lines, I mean, we hear the terms complementary football. How complementary is the football you're playing right now? What did tonight show on both sides of the ball?
You know, I think if you look it up in the dictionary, it's going to show that game that we just played. That's what we preach. You know, offense, scoring points, defense feeding the offense, special teams, field position, making big plays, big hits. You know, that's what we preach, and we're able to do it.
The last time you guys played this game, kind of tense in this room after that game.
Boy, was it?
Went viral.
Yeah.
How opposite is this feeling versus that night?
It's a better feeling, I'll tell you that.
A lot better feeling.
Obviously, you know, winning the game, playoff game at home, it's a great feeling.
Does anybody remember what I said walking off? Yeah. Not over there, right here. Yeah. I said I remember that.
Then why are you asking us if we remember? You're supposed to remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
You guys feed off of that at all? I mean, that
Of
game.
course. For that game?
That game, that first game.
I mean, I think I don't think that either of those games meant anything coming into this game. You know, we just wanted to go out there and be us, execute at a high level. You know, we felt coming in we were the better team, and that's what we showed tonight. So, you know, hats off to the offense, special teams, defense played well. Like you said, it's complimentary football all the way around.
What did you guys do to celebrate being named All-Pro?
Say it
Both
again?
of you.
I'm sorry?
Both of you to be named All-Pro. How'd you guys celebrate that?
Watch film.
Watch film. Got back to work.
Micah, given the history, and you guys certainly weren't here for all of it, but to beat that team, eliminate that team, does it mean anything more to the Buffalo Bills than beating that team?
Yeah, obviously playing a team 3 times is tough. It doesn't matter what the divisional team is. It's always hard to play a team 3 times. And to come get a win in the first round of playoffs at home, it's big. It's huge. Then obviously, it didn't matter who we played. We were going to try to come out and dominate. But I think it's big for the people in this community and people around here to be a part of that game against that opponent, just because, you know, we know the history and what's happened, you know, for the last 20+ years. So, you know, we just wanted to come out here and play our game. It wasn't about, you know, exact opponent. We just understood that playing a team 3 times is tough.
Except for Cincinnati, every other team remaining in the AFC, you've already played this year. Does that help you?
It's a new season, you know. I mean, obviously maybe you get a feel of some of the guys that they have, but, you know, it's a whole brand new season. Got to prepare whichever team we see. You know, got to prepare extremely well.
At what point in this game are you guys feeling, or I'll ask Micah, if George, feel free to answer if you'd like to also, but at what point in the game are you feeling dominant? When you see what's happening on offense, you guys are doing what you're doing on defense, and knowing that it's always a live opponent, but at what point do you feel we're dominating this game?
I mean, honestly, you know, I think Sean approached the team a couple of weeks ago and said, you know, this is going to have to be playoff football. We're playing game to game. We got to go out there and play our best and get wins. And obviously, we were able to do that the last couple of weeks. So I don't even think it really started in this game. I just think the mindset that we've had the last couple of weeks, and then obviously getting into this game and feeding off each other. You know, just kind of that back against the wall mentality, and we were able to do that a couple weeks ago.
You were against.
Those two definitely remember how it was the last time they played the Patriots at Highmark Stadium. They let up quite a few rushing yards. Not the case tonight. They only allow 89 rushing yards from the Patriots. The Buffalo Bills rushed for 174 yards, 482 total yards. And that Micah Hyde interception was so impressive to start the game. I mean, talk about giving the momentum all to the Buffalo Bills right there with that interception. But was there another facet of the game that really impressed you?
That was the turning point of the game, because it's 7-0, and as impressive as the Bills were on their opening drive, here come the Patriots on the ensuing possession trying to tie the football game. And from my vantage point, I'm thinking, oh, he's got him beat at the touchdown, and Micah comes out of nowhere and makes an over-the-shoulder catch that looked like Willie Mays in the '54 World Series that everybody has seen on black and white, even if you're younger, not old enough to have lived to see it live. That's how amazing that play was. You heard Jordan Poyer say it's the most amazing play he's seen on a football field live. And the guy's played the game since he's 6 years old at all levels. So it was an unbelievable play. And for the offense to step back on the field, march 80 yards in 10 plays, and put another 7 on the board, now it's 14-0. And we talked about it, Maddy, on Field Pass. Early lead, you get up, you pull them out of their game plan, you have them right where you want them because this defense is designed to stop the pass.
Yep. I remember looking at the scoreboard. It was 27-0 at some point in the first half, and I was thinking, where is this game headed? Are the Patriots even going to score 47 total points by the Buffalo Bills offense? And part of that was because of the offensive line and the way that they were able to pass block and run block for their weapons. So let's send it over to Mitch Morse and Deion Dawkins.
No. I felt his hand on my back telling me to go faster, so I just tried to. I don't know. When you're in space, half of it's just running as fast as you can and hoping everything works out. And for the most part, it did in that play.
Deion, that game was no punts, no field goals, no turnovers, 7 drives, 7 touchdowns. It's never been done in the NFL before.
Yeah.
What do you say after that performance by your offense?
You know, it's a reflection of the entire building, honestly. We have a special group, special unit, and it doesn't happen every week. And we understand it, and we take it for and what it is, you know, and we'll pat ourselves on the back, and we'll keep it pushing because, you know, hey, blessed to do it all smiles, but shoot, that is hard. That's hard.
I know you set goals, like there's game goals and all that. Did this exceed all of, wouldn't it have exceeded what you would have set as goals?
And we're definitely proud of ourselves, but hey, it is and what it is, and we're definitely proud. But next week is another week, and all the credit goes to the quarterback and the guys calling the calls, and my dog Mitch held it down, you know, and we had a rookie get his touchdown, his first touchdown, and it's a great day for the fan base, for us as a Buffalo Bill player, and as an organization.
Deion, you've been here longer than Mitch, obviously.
Yeah.
You played them 6 times and lost to them. So to beat that team on this stage, did that mean more to you because of the history between Bills and Patriots?
You know, I let all of the stuff in the past go, you know. Anytime that we can get a win, every team is different, like, as you know. Of course, it's a deeper feeling that the times have definitely changed, but I'm happy to get a win with the unit of guys that I'm out there with on the football field.
Mitch, this is now the 4th straight game that you guys haven't allowed a sack. Just how much confidence do you guys have as a unit, and, you know, maybe finally having that consistency after all the shuffling around and adversity that you guys face as a group?
Yeah, I think, you kind of have to go through that adversity throughout the season to come out in the end. I mean, you can go one of 2 ways. You can fold or kind of figure it out on the fly. We understand every week is different. You know, it's nothing we're going to hang our hat on. We're very proud, like he said, to keep Josh upright. Because when you give him opportunities to make plays, he will make plays. So it comes down to communication, you know, from guys like Deion through everyone on the same page. I think that plays a big role. Keep no secrets out there. And then when it comes to just one-on-ones, doing the best you can with the techniques you're taught, and go from there.
How confident are you in the way this offense is playing? You guys clearly, like you just said, found some answers up front. The running game has emerged. You know what Josh can do with his feet, what he's capable of doing through the air in the passing game. How well is this offense playing, and how confident are you at this point?
Yeah, I think for us it's just about executing the game plans, the play callers. Like Deion said, we have to give a lot of kudos to the coaches and putting us in positions with their play calling and keeping us ahead of, you know, some 3rd and longs. Every week is different. Mm-hmm. Every game plan is different. So for us, it's really just trying to, you in the playoffs, it's easy to say it's a 1-week season, but I think we've kind of adopted that mindset the last half of the season, especially the last quarter of it. And when you don't look too far ahead and you learn from your mistakes from the past, but you don't linger on them, you put yourself in a position to learn and keep getting better.
Did you have a thought on that?
Yeah. And I'm going to just get back to it. Like, it is an extremely special unit, man. And I don't really think that, and it sucks that the world can't feel what we feel, but it's a special unit. Like we got guys that have been kicked when they were down and just kept on going. And the number one person that I could think of is Motor. Like in the beginning of the season, guys were bashing him, bash. Oh, the running game, oh, the O-line, da-da-da-da-da. Motor just kept his head up. He kept his feet going, and now everybody's like, oh, Motor this, Motor that. And that just shows that we have a special unit of guys that know how to take bullets and take shots and take blows and stand tall through them all. And special unit, man, truly a special unit. And this is just, Testament 1, and we got our first battle done, and we're off to battle number 2.
Hey, Mitch, we've been watching this with Josh, the way he's decided to superstar status, but watching him tonight and the previous game in New England, can he play any better than he has these last 2 games against them?
I think if you ask him, he would say yes. For an offensive lineman, I'm not the best at analyzing quarterback play because I don't know reads, I don't know what's going on. He kept us in great positions. He was smart with the football. He was a great leader, very encouraging. I think I can only speak on behalf of Josh Allen as the leader, and he's been exceptional through the ebbs and flows of the season, through the ebbs and flows of these games. It just happens that these last 2 games against a tremendous team that we had talked about and that we have a lot of respect for, it makes it pretty special. But I think the great thing about Josh is if you ask if he's been playing perfectly, he'd say absolutely not. And that's what makes him who he is.
What about this week for you? 2 big wins, a new baby, all in 6 days.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster to say the least. I had guys in my O-line room, like you said, exceptional group of guys, professionals, pick me up, gave me a lot of kudos and stuff. And it was fun. It was just professionally and personally, it was a fantastic 6 days. It's been a blessing, and we're looking forward to continuing to compete. And my family will be fine. Just looking forward to competing.
All right, so Mitch Morse wins the AFC East, then he has a new kid, and now he is moving on in the playoffs. Quite a week for him, an exciting time to be a part of the Morse family, an exciting time to be a part of the Buffalo Bills offensive line group. And thanks to them, Josh Allen had another great game. He completed 84% of his passes for over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, almost a perfect passer rating. Why was he so on point tonight, Chris?
He had time to throw. The pass rush for New England was absent. Now, in the last meeting, we thought that was due in part to the fact that they were worried about him running. And at the beginning of this game, he rips off a long 26-yard run. And as soon as he did that, the Patriots backed off. They said, let's just stay in the rush lanes. And the problem with that was you compromised your coverage on the back end. They were shorthanded back there. They were missing a starting corner, a reserve corner. Another guy was dinged up. Dante Hightower was playing hurt at the second level at linebacker. You give Josh Allen time against a slow back 7 defense, he is going to carve you up. Maddie, he had more touchdowns than incompletions tonight. 5 touchdowns, 4 incompletions. And the Bills had more touchdown drives, 7, than they had third down conversions, 6. So it was efficiency to a degree we have not seen. Hopefully this continues. It's going to be very hard to duplicate this performance, but if the Bills have saved this kind of football for the postseason, we're in for a long ride here.
Sign me up. Josh Allen and Devin Singletary are on the podium right now. Let's send it to them.
Devin, if you could start there. I mean, Dion was just talking about, you getting bashed. As, struggles were happening early on in the season. What was that like for you?
Comes with the game. There's always going to be people talking if you're doing good or if you're doing bad. So either way, you got to work. So, yeah.
Well, Motor, what has changed in the way you guys are executing the run? It just seems like now you've got some creases. You're taking it more north-south than maybe you had previously. Is that what we're looking at with how you've run the ball so much better the last, 5 games?
Really, it comes down, Coach Dayball is, dialing it up. He's dialing it up. And the guys up front, man, like Dion was saying, it's a great group, great unit. They're getting a lot of push, and not only the guys up front, the receivers are getting in on it, the tight ends are getting in on it. So all that helps, man. All that helps. All that plays a part, and that's really what it comes down to.
Devin, the longer of your touchdown runs, I'm getting confused in the order, but what did you see on that play when you bounced it outside? Just walk us through that play.
Yeah, man. Reg made a good block, and then I seen the safety coming down, and then I seen Isaiah a little dirty. He had a great block. Once he did that, I'm like, oh, I got a chance to bounce it outside, and that's how it played out.
Josh, why is it that you struggle so much in the cold weather?
It's just cold. I don't know. Good question.
Can you just give us an overview of your night and how it unfolded for you as things, from our standpoint? I know it looked easy. You made it look easy tonight. I know it wasn't, but how does this 7-possession, 7-touchdown game shake out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know this team pretty well. It's the third time we've played them. That's a good team we just played. And the way we came out and executed was good to see, but I think it just kind of goes back to the last week of practice that we had. Guys were dialed in. We practiced hard. We put together a really good game plan. Dable lit it up, just the play calling, and our guys went out there and made some plays. You see Motor catch a check down and drag 2 or 3 guys and get first downs. Gabe Davis makes an unbelievable catch across his body. Dawson Knox there late, and then getting Tommy Doyle a touchdown. That was pretty fun. So guys were locked in. We had a lot of different play calls tonight, but at the end of the day, we went out there and executed. And I think it just kind of goes back to how we practiced this week and what we prepared to do.
Yeah, along those lines, I mean, we know what you can do through the air, what you can do with your feet, but we've talked about this, the emergence of Devin, the running game, the offensive line, what's happened there. How critical is that to being able to put on the type of dominating performance that you did in such a big game tonight?
Yeah, when teams want to try to play that too high look and we're able to hand it to Motor and he's making guys miss and dragging guys and getting 7-8 yards on first down, just the efficiency that it brings you. And again, we have this concept that we like to call playing in the green and skipping some third downs. And again, when you're able to hand the ball off and skip third downs, you're typically going to have success. And again, I've said this over and over. You look at Motor every single play. I dare you guys to watch it. Just the amount of effort that he puts in, whether he's getting the ball or he's not, working downfield, making an extra block, picking guys up off the ground. That pays dividends. Like it does. He does things the right way, and you're seeing things come to fruition because of how he approaches the game.
Josh, Dawson and Devin came in together as third-round picks, really all season, but especially tonight. To see the way that they've emerged, how big has that been for this offense overall?
It's been huge, especially going forward. We're going to need everybody going forward. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff. Again, I'm sitting there in the third, fourth quarter and just like, Dable and Leslie, I know that they've got some opportunities coming up here right now, and things can be different. It's an opportunity right in front of us right now. So we're going to need everybody going forward, guys pulling in one direction. And we don't know who we play next week, but whoever it is, we got to put together a good game plan and have a really good week of preparation and go out there and try to execute again.
Josh, what does it mean for you? I mean, what is your thoughts on what it means to the community to have that type of a performance against the New England Patriots, given what all that team has been able to accomplish over the last 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good for the fans, and I know that, and I'm glad we could give that to them. But at the end of the day, it's a playoff game that we advanced on, and it doesn't matter what we did this week or last week or the week before. What matters is what we do going forward, and again, we'll find out who we play tomorrow. But whoever it is, we got to, like I said, put together a good game plan and have a really good week of practice and try to execute and find another way to win.
Hey, Josh, we've seen you throw a lot of touchdowns. The first one seemed kind of unique. What were you, when you threw it up to Dawson? Can you,
That's what I was trying to do, you know. Honestly, I thought I threw the ball away. He made an unbelievable play, but I got hit and I got up and I was going back to the huddle, and I think it was third down. So as I was going back to the huddle, I was like going off the field basically, and everybody's celebrating. I had no idea what was going on because I sat down. I go, what happened? Nobody could tell me an explanation. I hadn't seen the video on the screen yet, and like it took about 3.5, 4 minutes for them finally put it up on the screen after we kicked the PAT. Where I was like, holy crap! I did not mean for that to happen, but Dawson was in the right place at the right time and made an unbelievable play.
So on that specific play, you had 10 seconds to throw, and they said on the broadcast that is the most time a quarterback has had all season to throw a touchdown pass. So obviously you just said you didn't plan on doing that, but how good has the offensive line been these last couple weeks?
They've been fantastic, and the communication's there, the attention to detail in practice, and in the protection game when we're doing our walkthrough stuff. Guys are just dialed in, but they're communicating very well, and they care about each other, and they don't want to let each other down, and they don't want to let this team down. And again, we're going to need everybody going forward, including them, and they're what's making our heart beat right now. Just being able to follow them and trust that protection's holding up and able to get the ball in the hands of guys like Motor and our skill guys, and they're making some unbelievable plays. And again, we got to continue to find ways.
So Josh, when that happens, when you think you're throwing the ball away, it's a touchdown. Is there at least a part of you that says maybe tonight's our night?
For sure, yeah.
Josh, what does it say about this offense, the fact that you guys, especially in this game, you found so many different ways to get it done and so many different guys. I mean, Tommy Doyle has a touchdown there. Just what does it say about this unit moving forward through the rest of the season?
I'm sick for Emmanuel Sanders because he's played 100 years in this league, and tonight was his first playoff touchdown. Tommy Doyle plays one game and gets a touchdown. He's a freaking lineman, so it sucks for him. But you know, I'm glad E's first touchdown was with us. And again, that's just another guy though. He's had an up and down year with some injuries, and just put his head down and work. And he's a vet guy. He doesn't care how he gets the job done. But I told him, I go, if you watch that drive too. I think 2 plays earlier, he's out on the edge and he's making an unbelievable block for a little dirty. So I went up to him right when that happened. I go, I dapped him up, obviously, and then 2 plays later, he catches a touchdown like that. And just a guy that stays ready. He knows his role, he knows his job, and he makes a big play when it's there for him. And I think that's just kind of the mantra of this team, guys that are just willing to do what it takes to win. And when their opportunity's there, they're going to make the play.
Josh, you were without Emmanuel the last couple of weeks. You were without a couple guys against the Patriots the last time around. What did it mean having your full complement of receivers back with you today and going out there and having a successful night?
Yeah, I mean, we just got a lot of guys that can do so many different things. And when you have everybody out there and you're able to run the ball, you're able to kind of work in some quick game and some play action. It just kind of opens everything up. And again, guys made some unbelievable plays tonight. Passing, blocking, rushing. Our defense played fantastic again. But again, like, it was great, fantastic, whatever it is, it's over with. We got to turn our attention to whoever we're playing tomorrow. We'll celebrate this one and enjoy this one today and tonight. But again, we got to turn our attention towards whoever we play and get ready for another one.
Josh, Tim's question, I think, was on point off the top, but in all seriousness, your preparations for the cold tonight. You know, we heard sleeves, no sleeves, whatever before the talk about, I guess, how you made the decision. That you obviously looked pretty comfortable out there. You know, how you felt and just dealt with the elements.
Well, I went pregame and it was cold, so I don't like playing with sleeves. I'm typically kind of old school quarterback type mentality and football mentality, but it doesn't help if you're too cold, you know. So threw them on. It was a different shirt than I'd seen. Mitch had it, and I wanted it and put it on and worked out.
It was his shirt.
2 more?
No, I had saw that he was wearing the same shirt, and I didn't know that we had those back in the equipment room. So I asked Jeff, our equipment manager, who was fantastic tonight, getting guys ready in preparation and the heated benches and all that stuff. Our whole EQ staff, they're on top of it. They're the best in the league, so I'm glad we have them too.
Josh, did you have a chance to share a word with Mac Jones after the game?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll keep that private between me and him, but he's a heck of a player.
Josh, you said for the last 4 to 5 weeks this team has been in playoff, has had a playoff mindset. How much has that helped going into this game and with what you were able to do today?
I mean, when you're going into every game with a win or go home mentality, and that's really what we've had in the last few weeks. Just the attention to detail in practice. Guys are more attentive. The urgency's there, and you're seeing us, play better because of it. And again, we're going to need that same mentality this week. Thank you, guys.
All right, Josh Allen and Motor Singletary. And I've got to give kudos to Motor Singletary. I mean, 81 rushing yards. It's his 5th straight game with at least 1 rushing touchdown. This guy has had a wonderful end to the season, and he is bringing it right into the playoffs. He is someone who works so hard, always has such a good attitude, whether it was the beginning of the season when he wasn't doing much to right now at the end of the season in the playoffs when he is a big part of this offense now. Chris, what have you seen from him in terms of how he's been able to get going towards the end of the season and now right into the playoffs?
Well, he's taken advantage of opposing defenses playing light boxes. If they're going to back people off and not give you anything cheap or deep, they're pulling people back. That leaves the box light. And earlier in the season, the Bills couldn't run successfully against 6 or 7-man boxes. Now they are. And Singletary is exploiting that to the point where the opposing defense is like, all right, well, what do we do now? We got to stop the run because he's breaking off 7-8-yard runs and moving the sticks. Well, we got to stop that now. And then you're playing single high safety, and now the receivers are winning, and Josh is killing you with 30 and 40-yard passes. There is no answer when the offense can click the way that it has and be two-dimensional. That's the biggest issue here. And the thing that's amazing to me is how well they're running the ball in the red zone. It is very hard to run down there, and Josh used to be the equalizing factor with the way he could run down there, but now Singletary is doing it. As you mentioned, he scored in each of the last 5 games. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns in the last 5 games. And Maddy, here's the thing that stands out to me above any other statistic tonight, okay? The Buffalo Bills went 6 for 6 in the red zone tonight against the number 2 red zone defense in football. 6 for 6. It's amazing.
Absolutely incredible. I hope this can be consistent throughout the rest of the playoffs. I don't know if they can actually copy what they did tonight, but I believe that they can keep what's hot. They can keep it going into the next round of the playoffs. But let's keep it going on some of the player interviews. We've got Tremaine, Edmonds, and Dawson Knox answering questions from the media right now.
Yeah, I mean, so it was just another scramble drill, and we know how many incredible plays he's made on the move this year. And so I was just kind of moving around in the back of the end zone, looking at him, and he threw the ball up, and I thought he was throwing it to me. I was like, wait, I can get this one. Thankfully caught it, celebrated, got to the sideline. I was like, thanks, man. Thanks for throwing it up, giving me a chance. And he was like, I meant to throw it away. I was like, all right. But, it just worked out for us. I mean, obviously, the plays that he's made all year is just incredible. I think his passer rating was like almost perfect tonight. It's insane. So it was fun.
Tremaine, the run defense has been something that's been heavily criticized all season. Coming in like 89 yards against the Patriots. Did that light a fire under you guys?
Definitely did. Obviously, it was something that we wanted to put emphasis towards. I mean, we worked hard all week. And, credit goes out to the guys, man. Nobody ever folded. No matter how much criticism we may have gotten, nobody ever folded, man. We knew what the goal was, and, we just kept chopping. We kept coming out at practice, man, kept wanting to get better, kept using our fundamentals, man, and, we put emphasis towards it. And just to see guys step up, to see guys, take ownership in that, man. I mean, me being the linebacker, me being the Mike, man, it's amazing just to see, the guys just never put their heads down and, keep chopping and keep getting better in that.
Through a touchdown that your quarterback was trying to throw away. Does that change the mindset of you of things are just falling our way tonight, things are going well, or does that mean anything at that point in the game?
I didn't really read much into it. A touchdown's a touchdown, whether you mean to throw it away or not. But we always talk about starting fast. And, when we get the ball first, we want to go put 7 on the board because we know what our defense is going to do, I think literally first in every single category this year, which is unbelievable. We always just talk about starting fast, and thankfully we did that.
Just to follow that, I mean, and this could be for both of you. When Micah makes that play, that interception, tracks it like that across the field. I mean, it seems like you guys were going to be dominant tonight no matter what, but that was pivotal where they're knocking on the door at that point, and all of a sudden the ball's back in your hands. What did that mean?
Yeah, that was a big-time play for us defensively. I mean, Mike had been making those plays all year. I mean, that's why he's all pro. And, I mean, that was a big-time play. I went up to him. I was like, bro, how did you make that? And he was like, I don't even know. I got to go see it. But, I mean, that's Micah, man. So, it surprised me, but at the same time, it didn't because, I mean, he always make those plays, man. He come up big for us and definitely was a momentum swing for us.
Dawson, you missed the hat trick by 1 yard.
Yeah, I reached the ball out and everything, which they tell us not to do. Really wanted that third one, but we had Tommy Doyle score, I think, on the next play. So I told him I got tackled on purpose just for him.
So you got the assist.
Exactly, yeah, we'll take the assist on it, yeah.
Dawson, he's the first tight end in NFL history with 2 receiving touchdowns in the first quarter of the playoff game. How special is that for you?
Oh, cool. I had no idea, but when you got a quarterback like Josh and a line that's protecting like they are, our offense is able to do some special stuff.
Dawson, did it feel like the offense was just sort of clicking tonight? I mean, was there like a moment?
Yeah, just on all cylinders. We always talk about being two-dimensional. The way Motor's been running the ball has been unbelievable. The movement of the lines getting up front. It seems like we could have done anything we wanted to out there, and that's just a testament to how hard everyone works, just doing their 1/11th. And there's been a lot of movement on the line, like injuries, guys having to switch positions mid-game, and so it truly is a testament to them and how hard they work day in and day out.
Dawson, Mr. Stefan is back, man. You auditioning for an angry run this week or what?
Man, I thought I was going to get past him. He tripped me up a little bit. But I told you I had to throw one of them this week.
What would
Good.
you say to people around the country that looked at that game and said, that's the team to beat?
I mean, this week, or this league's just a week-by-week deal. We've seen that this year. It's been a roller coaster, ups and downs, but you got to treat every game with a life of its own. You can't just assume that we're going to go out and do the same thing next week. We got to put in the work every single day. And we talk about being championship caliber, and that starts tomorrow with the film, correcting all the mistakes, and just enjoying the win, but at the same time being ready to move on to the next opponent.
How do you guys view the rivalry with the Patriots? There's obviously a lot of history between the franchises, but for you guys as players, is there anything extra special about going out there and doing that against New England?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 4th year now playing those guys, and I mean, you definitely feel it, just in the locker room, just in the community and everything, just because based on, the past, the history between Buffalo and New England. But, I mean, man, it's amazing. I mean, those are the type of games that you wish for. Those are the type of games that, we grew up wanting to be in. And just to have it, playoff atmosphere, I mean, it made it, 10 times better in front of our fans, man. It was loud out there. They bring it each and every game. So, I mean, it felt good, man. The energy always feels good.
Dawson, did it feel like the fans had any issue with Cole tonight, from what you could say?
No. I mean, we saw dudes shirtless. I mean, that crowd always finds a way to get us going, no matter if we're up or down, playoffs or not. Best fan base in the world, not even close.
What's the ball feel like, especially off of Josh's hand?
I mean, you can't really tell that big of a difference. If you really sat there and, felt it, I'm sure there's a small difference. But with the way Josh threw it tonight, maybe we should play every game in the -10, whatever it was tonight.
Dawson, Josh had more touchdowns than incomplete passes in this game, and obviously you've been very complimentary of him today, but how would you describe his performance?
I mean, when you throw more touchdowns than incompletions, I think that just kind of speaks for itself. I think he had what was his passer rating, 158, 150, yeah. I mean, literally perfect. So, I mean, there's not much to be said when you got stats like that.
Tremaine, all season long, everybody been talking about how this defense can't stop the run, they can't tackle. How personal did you guys go out there and to want to shut New England's run game down today?
Yeah, I mean, criticism is part of the game, so, at the end of the day, man, we know, what we stand for, defensively, man, and like I said earlier, man, I mean, we take pride in that. Obviously, the criticism is going to come. But it takes a real man to, accept that. It takes a real man to prove people wrong. And I think that's the type of guys we got defensively, man. Just guys that want to go out there and simply get the job done, man, no matter what people say. I mean, we know we got defensive. We know the type of guys that we have on that side of the ball and just on the whole team in general. So, I mean, we take pride in that, man. And, obviously a little fire for us. But at the end of the day, man, we just had to find a way to get the job done. And, credit goes out to the guys, man. We work hard. We stress that each and every week. And we're still going to continue to stress it because it's still a long road ahead of us.
All right, a big day for Dawson Knox, two touchdowns for him, and he had a big regular season too. 9 receiving touchdowns by him. He ties for most touchdowns by a tight end, and he was the reliable one in today's game. 89 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns by him. What has impressed you most about his growth over the last couple seasons, especially with how he came on this season and could really be the it factor in certain games?
Right. I mean, he was the guy that really became the differentiating part from last year's offense to this year's offense. Yes, he was a part of it last year, but he's grown into a featured part of this passing game now. And it wasn't that long ago, as a rookie, where he was having trouble with drops, ball security, things of that nature, and now he is a bona fide red zone threat, a mismatch that opposing defenses have to game plan for. And the Patriots were very hurt tonight by the fact that Kyle Duggar, one of their safeties who play in their 3-safety nickel defense, had a club on his hand because he had a broken hand, tried to play with it, but really could not cover. It's hard to cover and jockey for position with only one hand, let alone make a play on the ball. And so they had to put Adrian Phillips, an older safety, on Dawson Knox more often than not tonight. It was a mismatch, and it revealed itself pretty early in the ball game, as we saw. He became the first tight end in NFL history with 2 touchdown catches in the first quarter.
And we'll see more of him in the playoffs, that is for sure. We hear about tight ends being the secret weapon in a lot of teams' offenses. Well, he's emerged as one of those for the Buffalo Bills offense. Well, Sean McDermott is 3-0 in home playoff games, so let's send it right over to him.
Sean, 7 touchdowns on 7 possessions. What does that say about what you guys were able to do tonight?
Let me just start off by saying glory to God, man. Just praise God for that win. Praise God for the environment out here. Our fans were phenomenal. I want to give credit to our equipment staff and all of our strength and conditioning staff and the sports science staff. They did a great job handling the weather. And our guys came out ready to play, and the coaches did a good job getting them ready, and they executed. And that's really what long-winded answer to your short question, but just segue into that. And they really came out and executed, and it goes back to the week of preparation. So I thought they had a great week of preparation.
Complimentary football, Sean, is a term we use, you guys use a lot.
Right.
How complimentary was that performance? That seems about as, you kind of maxed out in that area tonight.
Yeah, there was high-level football going on, Adam. We still have plenty to work on, though. I know the score was what it was, but there's a lot in there that is kind of hidden right now that we got to get fixed for next week.
Sean, you said what the score was, but the play Micah made early, 7-0, they're driving. First of all, that was some play, and then what it meant to you guys at that moment.
Yeah, I mean that was a pivotal moment in the game. I think it was 7-0 at the time, and that could have been 7-7, and it just seemed like it went from there. I mean, that was such a huge play. So by one of our leaders, right, a guy that we all count on. So he stepped up at a big moment for us.
That play, I mean, Jordan described it as maybe the best play he'd ever seen, and that's those two talking.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're looking at replays or whatever, but what did you see when you saw him make that?
Yeah, I won't give him that much credit. No. From my angle, it was a great play. It's, I was telling the guys I can't wait to watch it to get a better feel for really the type of play it was, because it's hard to see from far sideline into the far corner, but just seemed like a bang play, and did a great job tracking the ball.
Sean, what can you say about the play of the offensive line lately? They haven't allowed a sack in the past 4 games, especially given the amount of adversity they've gone through with shuffling guys, losing guys, COVID injuries, things like that. But the way that they're able to protect Josh and in the run game and things like that lately.
Yeah, again, continuity helps that, and I think they're doing a really good job, and there'll be bigger tests ahead, as we know. Same, not just for the offensive line, for our entire football team. So we've got to continue to work.
Sean, what do you think is different about Devin Singletary now, or maybe his level of play compared to, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's a question that keeps coming up. Honestly, nothing. Just in terms of his approach, his work ethic, his focus. And I mean, he's always run like that, and he just continues to. Every time he gets a chance to run, he always runs hard, and he plays big, plays bigger than he is. So it's he gives us good energy.
Sean, what does it mean for you as a franchise to beat the Patriots in this atmosphere?
It's one game. It really is. It's one game. I'm more happy for our fans. It's not often a coach can enjoy the last 6 minutes of a game and kind of look up in the stands and see the fans enjoying it at home, and I'm happy for them more than anything. And for us as a team this year, it's one game. That's a good football team, and they've been at the top for so long. So we have a lot of respect for them. So we just got to keep moving on.
Are there any sights you'll remember from those last 6 minutes looking up in the crowd?
It's just a lot of people having fun, it looked like. So I'm happy for them, and a lot of hardworking people in this community that get up every morning, pack their lunch and go to work, and so glad to see that they can enjoy something like that.
Sean, do you understand that kind of fun?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry, when you're in your profession, can you just describe kind of the joy or whatever of being on a journey with somebody like Josh and just seeing the way he's developed over the years and to have put on a game like he did tonight, just to be alongside on that journey?
It's fun to watch young players develop, and there's a lot that goes into that. And number one is the player, in this case Josh, taking great ownership of his development, and his preparation this week is what led him to the results you guys saw tonight on the field. I think it's pretty black and white that way.
Coach, how impressed were you in all 3 phases with your special teams, offense, and defense, or how physical your team played?
Yeah, again, I just think we're doing a good job of executing, and that usually comes from practice and the detail that we have at practice and the preparation, the focus that the guys have.
You were a little bit extra excited when he said someone like Tom Doyle gets first touchdown.
Yeah, that's a byproduct of the win. So it's excited for him as a young player to experience that, and it's good to see.
The question I was going to ask earlier off of the fans, I mean, that's an unhinged, they're out there having fun in a way that you guys can't really get into, because they can let themselves go. You still have to get through the game. You're worried about next week. But when you do see that, like, what kind of connection can you, got to make it maybe a little bit of a leap, but what do you think those fans are going through out there?
I probably really can't say here. I think when you share experiences like that, I think it brings you closer together. Just, whether you're on a team or it's the connection with the fan base, when you go through things like that, it tends to bring you closer together. So, again, I think they'll have some fun until maybe the wee hours in the morning, maybe with that. So good for them, and we're going to get back to work.
Maybe to kind of follow on that shot, I mean, it was Dawson who said, maybe in the pregame he looked up and he saw like a guy shirtless or whatever. And maybe in that way the players kind of feed off that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Energy.
Yeah, energy is real. When you got that type of energy, and I mean, you guys know it wasn't exactly 80 degrees and sunny in the stands, and for the fans to come out and support us like they do at home, on the road, in postseason here in whatever the temperature was, and for that guy to have no shirt on, I give him props. I give him credit, man. It's a bold statement right there. But
Josh said at one point in the game, he was thinking about it, with everything happening with Brian and Leslie potentially. I know you're not talking on that, but the urgency of right now with the group that you have, the coaching staff that you have, how much does that maybe energize you in a week of, like you said, in practice where it was so high intensity and so good?
With
just in terms of winning now, I know that's an emphasis already, but just knowing how good of a team that you have right now to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we just try and be the best we can every week. That's really what we're trying to do, is get better every week, focus on where we need to improve, and continue to carry those lessons forward. That's really where we're at.
Is it a little bit of a blessing in disguise, getting to play now on Saturday, and then, kind of just sitting back and watching what happens tomorrow, and then having just an extra day to prepare for whoever you have to play?
Yeah, we play whenever they tell us to play. So I'm just happy, we won, but we got a lot to work on.
I know you can only control what you can control, but tomorrow watching TV, how much you pull for Pittsburgh in order to host a game next week? Come back into the
Yeah, those are all. Every team in the playoffs is really good, and I've learned never to, wish for this team or that team. And Jim Johnson taught me that years ago. Just be careful what you wish for. So you always just want to, however the good Lord lets it play out, that's the way it's going to be. And we're gonna play a game next weekend. Is all we know right now.
With the exception of Cincinnati, you play the other remaining teams in the AFC. They're still standing. Does that give you any sort of advantage?
I think each game is really its own entity, really. So I don't think so.
Sean,
All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You've won 5 in a row. There's a lot of people out there that would say, and there's some people who say momentum's not a real thing, that just good teams win and they're better than the other team, and that's how you put these. But can you describe the power of momentum, or how you feel in terms of stacking these wins together?
I just think it's about a process where we're just trying to improve every week, and continue to hold each other accountable, and I think good things happen when you do that. And if momentum's a byproduct of that, maybe that's how that works. I just think focus, preparation, all that stuff is what's important this time of year. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Sean McDermott's press conference is brought to you by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York, the official health plan of the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills are definitely stacking wins, 5 straight for them, and next is the divisional round. So as we look forward to next week and what's on the schedule for the Buffalo Bills, I'm sure they'll go back to practice on Monday, definitely look at the tape tomorrow. But how can the Bills build off of a win and a dominant performance like this? Because you would like the exact same thing to happen, but it's hard for the exact same thing to happen based on how this team played tonight against the Patriots.
And there are so many variables in football, as you know. You got 22 people on the field. The matchups are going to be different against whatever personnel you're going to be going against in the future in the divisional round, whoever they're playing. And they're going to be waiting a long time because the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game, which is not until Sunday night, is going to largely determine where they're going and who they're playing. So, yeah, I mean, tying it up in a bow and making it look like this again is no easy task, especially in the playoffs. You're playing the best of the best in your conference this time of year. So, look, we're all hoping for another 40 burger to get hung on the next opponent. Let's just enjoy this for a little bit and hope they can play consistent football. They don't have to necessarily play super dominating, oh my God, what did I just watch football? They just have to play consistently complementary as we always see them do all three phases. And if they can do that and execute at a relatively high level, they're probably going to win, because when they play consistent football and complementary football, this team is very, very difficult to beat.
Yep, and the run game and the way that the run game has been able to get going, I mean, that has been such a nice thing to see. The offensive line consistency, the pass rush, there's been a couple things that have really started to move forward towards the end of the season, and if they can keep it going, I mean, it is truly all three phases firing together we've seen over the last few games, and we definitely saw it tonight. So we'll see what's up next for the Buffalo Bills. We'll see who they play. We do not know that yet, but we know we'll be right back here next week. So we want to thank you all for tuning in to Bills Tonight Digital. Make sure you guys check out the full version on MSG. I want to say tomorrow, but I can't say tomorrow because it is already Sunday. So later in the day, you'll have a full version of Bills Tonight with more sound, some highlights, and more breakdown of this game. We want to thank you for tuning in. For Chris Brown, I'm Maddy Glab. We will see you all next week. Enjoy this win, Bills Mafia.